Habari gani, wana Ubuntu wenzangu? What's the news, my fellow children of Ubuntu, people of Ubuntu? How are you doing essentially? Habari gani is a way of checking in on people, right? So I'm studying because my goal is to build and participate in building an Afrocentric education system that is focused on teaching our people from an African perspective, looking at the world from an African perspective, and ending this practice that was brought to us by foreigners of looking at the world from a white perspective, from a Western perspective, so that we can decolonize our minds, but also so that we can return to our being, so that we can understand our existence from our own perspective, and not necessarily from what is told to us by foreigners who don't even understand our ways of being, right? So that we can fully be ourselves, essentially. And so, as part of one of my courses, I'm taking a course, Race, Crime, and the African American Experience. And this is the book, let me see if I can hold it nicely so that you can all see it. The Condemnation of Blackness, Race, Crime, and the Making of Modern Urban America by Khalil Gibran Mohammed. That's the image. I'm just gonna do it gently so that you see it. Since I have the background, that's the image, right? And as I'm reading this book, and I posted it on my on all Kumbukeni and my personal profiles on Instagram, on TikTok, and everywhere that I am, LinkedIn, YouTube. I posted this paragraph today. It's highlighted in green, and I've underlined some phrases and sentences. And I said that when I looked at it, I was like, you know what? I know some people are going to get what I'm pointing out, but I know many will not. And is it important that you get it? Yes, I believe it's important, because I think knowing our enemies is an important part of getting liberated and protecting ourselves from further exploitation and further oppression and further subjugation and further colonization. Because hopefully, once we learn our enemies, we will implement the practices, the strategies, the protection to prevent our enemy from getting access to us in the future and future generations. So in this chapter, it's the first chapter of the book, and there's I'm not going to call him a gentleman, but I will, because this is what they call themselves, and we have seen their behavior. So maybe it's okay to use that word so that we can know who we're talking about, because we've seen how gentlemen behave. There's nothing gentle about them. There's a man, his name is Sheila. Let me see when he's first mentioned so that I can give the full name. And I'm going to spell, because my route of learning English is through the British tongue or the British culture. So I learned British English, and therefore I know a big chunk of my audience is American. You may not understand what I'm saying as I say the name just by saying it, because you may pronounce it differently. But also, British English is foreign to me. My tongue and how I see words is through Kikamba and Kiubuntu, Swahili. So to me, I have been raised to pronounce words as they are written. So this thing of speaking this foreign language is foreign to me, and how it's pronounced. So Sheila is Shaler. And I don't see his full name mentioned before this. Let me see. Bear with me. Patience, my people. Patience. Where is he mentioned first? Oh, in 1884, Nathaniel Southgate Shaler, you will not be surprised what institution he worked for, a Harvard scientist and a prolific writer on late 19th century race relations, wrote his first article on what he and many others called the Negro problem. It goes on to say that um, goes on to say that to some readers of Sheila's many race relations articles, which spanned some 20 years beginning in the 1880s, Sheila might have been mistaken for a typical Southern racist with a penchant for anti Black rhetoric and a fondness for scolding Northerners for their radical excesses during Reconstruction, caused by their belief that the Negro is only a Black white man. These readers would not have been totally wrong. He had much in common with writers like Helper, they've mentioned before. Sheila was a son of the South, born in 1841 in a slaveholding community in Kentucky, where his father practiced medicine. And for those of you who've read Medical Apartheid, this is slaveholding time or enslavement of our people time. This is medicine. This is in Kentucky. You know what his father was doing. Reared in an environment of Southern racial paternalism, he certainly knew firsthand the customs and habits of the whole Old South. Basically, he knew the atrocities they were carrying out against our people. Beyond that, however, Sheila saw himself as a friend of the Negro. He supported emancipation. He was a vocal supporter of industrial education for free men, drawing extensively on the expertise and personal observations of General Samuel Chapman Armstrong, a white commander of a Black regiment during the Civil War. Founder of Hampton Agricultural and Industrial Institute in 1868 and Booker T. Washington's mentor. Although Sheila accepted legalized segregation as a short-term solution, he rejected it in the long run. Remember, he's a friend of the Negro. These positions marked him and many of his contemporaries to varying degrees as late 19th century racial liberals. Malcolm X has warned us about the liberals. So we move now on to the paragraph that I posted, and I'll start a little before. But never before had race experts faced an intellectual challenge of the scale of mass freedom that so clearly demanded fresh insight. Now in freedom, many of the experts reasoned Blacks would have to rise or fall on their own virtues or vices, no longer benefiting from American slavery. So these white people are telling us that we benefited from slavery, which many like Sheila praised. American enslavement of African people. Sheila praised. Remember, he's the friend of the Negro, self-proclaimed friend of the Negro, liberal, as the mildest and most decent system of slavery that ever existed. These are the people you all are going to ask for your reparations, descendants of these people, who believe and who praise the enslavement of our people in America as the mildest and most decent system of slavery that ever existed. Since Blacks' vices, the vices of Blacks, by far outweigh their virtues, the experts claimed without the strong control of their masters, the freedom would naturally, because the white man knows better, naturally tend over the coming generations to revert to their ancestral condition. Not only is this, first of all, that last part saying that our ancestral condition was savagery and all that, like, right? Because we're talking about virtues. That so our ancestral conditions was full of vices. We are just a people who are just innately full of vices, and the white man our virtues are very, very minimal. The vices outweigh them, right? And without the strong control of white people, without the strong control of these masters, these enslavers, we will tend to move to our vices. We will tend to go back. We will naturally, over the coming generations, revert to our ancestral ways. I pray we do. Because we understand the value of them. But I'm trying to show you how they see us. The white gaze that we seek so much, how it sees us, no matter what, no matter whether you're a Christian, no matter you sign up and wear your suit and tuxedo, no matter you go and say, excuse me, please, sir, all that, they still see you this way. That's the importance of me posting this, for you to understand how these people see us, so that you, my brothers and sisters, can stop seeking their gaze, so that you can start seeking solutions within us, amongst us, so that you can stop wondering why you're being arrested for something so small, while a white person could go ahead and kill someone on video and still go to trial and get away with it. So that you stop wondering why your children are being picked on by the white teachers in their schools. You understand that these people have been raised in a system that conditions them to think that we are criminals innately. We have vices. We don't have virtues. And it's upon them to teach us to be virtual people. Or virtuous is the word. Be virtuous people. So, my people, this is who we are facing. They're not our partners. No, they're not. Does that mean they're good people? Yes, you have the John Browns there. They've been shown in history who they are. But like Malcolm says, like Muhammad Ali says, when you're in the grass, in the savannah, in the where you can't see what's in the grass, the snakes in the grass, you don't know which one is poisonous, which one isn't. You don't have the luxury to stop and check. Maybe over time you can observe from a distance and see which one is good and which one is bad and which one is poisonous and which one isn't, by observing how they interact in that grassland with other creatures, right? That's how you know. And for us, we are blessed with evidence of how they interact on a daily basis through the internet, through the TVs, through the movies. And so we should know by now which snakes are poisonous and which ones aren't. So I hope this helps someone to stop ask themselves, if you have been, like I was, looking up to Western culture, to America, to the UK, I speak my proper English and all that nonsense, for you to stop, for you to value who we are, for you to understand who we are dealing with. Asanteni, kila laheri, kwaherini.